Hello, welcome everybody. We are having our town hall meeting all about the gunboat hype. So let's check some volume levels. Welcome everybody. I need to open up my chats here. Today was a little bit of a scramble to get ready. My wife, who is an orchestra teacher just like I am, had a concert this evening, and I was the host slash MC. Oh, sorry about that. Let me know if that's a little bit better. I can definitely still turn up. I still got plenty of room. Let me know where things are. So, again, I'm congregating my chats here. Close that. Alrighty, we have YouTube chat up, and we have Twitch chat up. Both of them are ready to go. All right. So the phone is plugged in. Looks like everything's running. Let's get started. So, good evening, everybody who's watching live. Today is, let's take a look at the date. Today is October 20th. It is 10:30 in the evening, and you are watching / listening to the Gunboat Hype Preview Town Hall. So the hope is that I hope that we have plenty of participation today. And today's Town Hall shirt I am repping. This is the Philadelphia / South Jersey, I believe, X-Wing group. Thank you to Jonathan Lee for hooking me up with this shirt. It's awesome. I wore it to work today and got a lot of compliments. So yeah, let's get started. Hello, Gibbon Guy and Cosmic Jello. Thank you for starting up that Twitch chat, or I guess we have two going, so the chat. So FFG, after, Lord, how long has it been? I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a little bit over a month. We hadn't heard from FFG. People were just like, man, really, we need something. Give us something, FFG. And boom, we got the Gunboat preview. So we're going to go through everything that's here while we just wait for people to call in. You have two ways to call in. You can hit me up through Skype. That is Gold Squadron Podcast at gmail.com. Or you can also just call us with your regular phone. And the phone number is 802-465-3770. So feel free to hit us up at any time, and we will talk about the Gunboat preview or anything else that you want to talk about. So this should be a good time. So this image here that you see on the screen, we have up the original preview thing that we saw at Gen Con, and they also dropped it after Gen Con, where they just see kind of the card spread. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so that we can really just take a look at it here real quick. Oh, there's our first call. Phil Mead. Philip.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. This is Phil Mead of the Shuttle Tidarium podcast, if you recognize those silky chords.
Yeah, so I'm really pumped about this Gunboat coming out. It looks great in person. I saw it at Gen Con, and it's pretty cool. This latest preview, they really spill all the beans. I don't think there's anything in this pack that's not revealed.
Yeah,
right?
we know everything. We're just waiting for it to come out. Now get off the boat, give me my gunboat,
Right.
and let's put it on the table.
Yeah. I think that.
Oh, Philip. Hold on one second. Technical difficulties. Philip, I can't hear you, Philip. I don't know what happened. Jeez. Oh. Hey, Philip. Oh, wait a second. Things are breaking. Philip, give me a call back. Let's see if I can get a hold of him again. Philip, are you there?
Hey, yeah, I don't know why. Did I cut out?
Yeah, something happened. Give me a check 1 2
Okay.
real quick.
Check 1 2.
All right.
How am I now?
You
Okay.
sound good now. Let's keep you there
Okay,
now.
cool.
So
All right.
you were saying they spilled the beans.
Right, yeah, they spill the beans, everything. And I was wondering, I think there's basically two things that are pretty interesting to me about this. And one is possibly using cheap gunboats with the jamming beam, and another like disruptor type cannon, like say tractor beam, or I guess flechette. I love flechette, and it's all right. Right.
Most people should feel the same way about the flechette cannon. Continue.
Um, but using that as sort of a flanking disruptor ship that you can sort of zoom in on the side of an enemy formation, make them either choose to turn and engage or sort of ignore, because it's pretty weak on its own. You probably don't want to spend all your time attacking it.
Right.
But a jamming beam could be well worth its salt against an ace style ship, or something that's really relying on tokens. And likewise, the tractor beams could be pretty disruptive. I think I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen any tractor beams recently, just because a lot of the top meta ships in my, as far as I can tell, casual guy,
Right.
are pretty low agility. I mean, they're not too hard to hit with something and then throw onto an asteroid or throw out of formation.
Yeah, like here's the thing with tractor beam. Like so the low agility ship you see running around, at least in competitive play right now, is Nim, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's all over the place.
Right.
The issue is that he's PS10, and if a good Nim player would be like, I'm just not gonna let you shoot me. So then you can take the next step. All right, well then I'm gonna take multiple tractor beams and I'm gonna put them in different parts of the board.
Yeah, but then you're like wasting.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And tractor beams don't do damage. It's just like, it's tough.
Yeah, that's the thing about tractor beams, is that you really have to follow it up with something. So, yeah, they're really tricky to use. But, on the other hand, they're cheap.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it starts at what, 18 points base?
Right.
So
then it's 1 for the title.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have, you could put 21 points on this and have a tractor beam and a jamming beam. Is jamming beam 1 point?
Jamming beam, I have it all right here. Jamming beam is 1 point. Yes.
Yeah. So that might be useful as a sort of toolkit to sort of try to deal with different things. The other thing that's kind of interesting to me is combining unguided rockets with saturation salvo.
Okay, so saturation salvo. Let me pull that one up here. So it says it's an EPT, 1 point, and it says after you perform an attack with a torpedo or missile secondary weapon that does not hit, so you whiff the attack. Okay, each ship at range 1 of the defender with an agility value lower than the squad point cost of that torpedo or missile.
Yeah, I guess that's a real kicker for this, because unguided rockets is pretty cheap.
Yeah,
that's probably why it didn't really work that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm sorry. Did I just pour water on your like? Oh man,
no,
I think I found something
I hadn't
cool.
realized that quite yet, but yeah. I'm gonna the saturation salvo is kind of curious though, right? I mean, it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
The effect is interesting, but it only triggers if you miss. That's another thing about it.
Yeah, like
It's pretty weird.
if you're so it, there's a catch-22 in there, right? If you're investing, so like my mind immediately goes, well, then I should have the high, like the expensive missiles in order so that if this procs, it affects the most amount of ships. But if I'm paying 4-5 points for a missile, I want that thing to hit, and I want it to hit hard.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
I think this is going to be a fun, just kind of like messing around card. But
mm.
I don't know if we're going to see this in competitive play right away.
Yeah. 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 Missing and simultaneously requiring the high cost. Ironically, it sort of works well with another back of the binder card. You remember munitions failsafe?
Yeah. Oh no, I missed my missile. I get to do it again.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, you're paying some points for this. It's gonna be like, say you have a 4-point missile or torpedo that you're gonna be shooting,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2 more points for munitions failsafe plus saturation salvo. So it's a 6-point combo.
Yeah, exactly.
A
A six.
splash damage effect that you have to roll for.
So then why not just take
Assault missiles.
right,
And
assault missile or
hit.
just harpoon missiles, right? Like
Yeah, or harpoon
it's
missiles. Yeah.
so I mean, I'm glad that it's 1 point so that people will try it because it is 1 point, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's a 1 point well spent, personally.
Yeah, yeah, and the 1-point EPT space is really, very competitive, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of good 1-point EPTs. There's like a million good ones.
Yeah. I mean, why not take VI? Why not take Crackshot? Like, if it's not better than Crackshot or VI, it needs to be 0 points for me to even look at it.
Right. Other than that, I think the only other insight that I have on this, and this sort of stems from the custom card league that I've been running for a while on FFG forums.
Yeah, that's actually
Yeah.
a good transition, right? Because you're like, all right, so this is what they actually did compared to what, because I mean,
Right.
this one showed up right away when you guys were doing this.
Yeah, it was the ability to fire missiles after a slam. I think may have been an idea that I don't know if I was the first one to come up with this idea, but I came up with this idea in a design for a ship for a Scimitar assault bomber. It's a pretty obscure EU ship, but essentially it's a fast bomber. So I, had the idea to put slam on it and then give it a way to fire missiles after slamming. And it's an interesting thing that mainly works well, I think, on high pilot skill ships. So, because then you can use the slam to reactively maneuver and then line up a missile shot. It's pretty straightforward, right?
Yep, exactly.
Um, of course, here with obviously the main candidate is Major Vinder, but the conundrum is, what do you give as the EPT? I guess she would work pretty well if you give her advanced slam and VI, and then the missile upgrades, missile upgrade. But it does get expensive. That's going to put her in the region of like 34 points, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it can get pretty costly there. The question is, are you going to be able to get the value out of Major Vinder
Right.
at that?
Right. So I mean, you can probably do some pretty interesting flanking type maneuvers. I mean, say you're coming up on the side of a formation that's like skirting asteroids or something. If they keep going straight, you can decide to come in with a 3-turn, or if they turn towards you, you could either turn away or try to fly past them, and then come in later on a turn. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, but I think it's fairly limited in its application, just because you're still usually going to need that target lock setup.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Unless you stick Deadeye on, which is possible.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
Or you go with if you have the missile title, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, you can take long-range scanners. That's another option.
Right. Yeah, long-range scanners is interesting. It's something that I've thought about for a while with other ships. Um, I think there's good reasons that you don't see it usually, just because you telegraph what your intentions, unless you're being very sneaky. Like you can, there's basically like there's two ways you can do it. You can use it to set up your shot, or you can use it to try to fake out your opponent and make them fly away from you, and then disrupt their formation. I think there's a really good element, like psychological element, to that long range sensors that hasn't really ever been used, just because it's almost always better to have guidance chip.
Yeah, I mean the free modification is just great. It's just awesome.
Yeah, it's just so powerful.
All right, Phil. Well, thank you so much for being our first caller.
Sure.
All right. Have a good night, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great insight there. Paul, I saw Paul Olson gave me a call. Let's see if I can give him a call back here. He was ready and waiting. How's it going, Paul?
Dune, what's up?
Hey, how's it
Can you hear
going?
me?
Yeah, I hear you good. You hear me okay?
Yeah, dude. It's going well. Good to talk to you again.
Oh, always. Thank you for calling in, man. So, Gunboat hype.
Dude, super excited to just see this in action. It's awesome. Yeah, I had some general thoughts, and I just wanted to kind of talk about a few of the upgrades.
Go for it.
Well.
You have the floor.
So I guess first thoughts in general, as excited as I am to see this on the table, I don't see it as crazy meta breaking. I mean, I've been wrong before, but I see it more as just a straight up better bomber when it comes to ordnance. It doesn't have the ability to carry crew, obviously, but I mean, you look at the PS2 gunboat, and it's 2 points more than the baseline bomber. And then the PS4 gunboat has an EPT slot, which the bomber does not. So I think you're going to see this as kind of a filler ship. I've been playing around with a couple of Imperial squads where I'm flying 2 bombers, kind of a flanker, and then an ace. And that's where I'm excited to use this, is kind of that PS2 range specifically. You don't need to run extra munitions on it because you can reload everything.
Boom, reload, baby. Just do it again.
Exactly. So, and with the baseline bomber, you were running extra munitions anyway. So really, if you look at the baseline point cost, it was the same as a PS2 bomber anyway.
Absolutely.
This thing has shields. This thing has, I guess, more HP in general. And the ability to slam and still fire when including that title is ridiculous. And is that title unique? I don't think it is it?
Nope, neither of the titles are unique.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm gonna read them down real quick for the people at home. So right now, Paul is referencing the OS-1 Arsenal loadout. And it's Alpha class Star Wing only title. It says your upgrade bar gains the torpedo and missile upgrade icons. You may perform attacks with torpedoes and missile secondary weapons against ships that you have locked, even while you have a weapons disabled token.
Yeah. And so in looking at both of those titles, I don't know, maybe we see the XG one, the gun one being used. But I think you'll see the OS one as kind of the standard staple to this ship, especially with that reload action. Because if you're taking the XG1 title, then you're kind of, in a way, wasting that ordnance. Because I don't, if you don't want to load it up too much, right? Like you don't want to put on a cannon and then a bunch of other munitions on it, at least at first pass, because then it becomes too high value of a target to go after.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, you're like, oh, I'm gonna flank you with this ship. You're like, oh no, I'm just gonna turn and kill it, and then deal with the rest of your list.
And especially if it has over a third of your point costs, which it gets expensive really quick, especially if you're talking about the um, the two unique pilots.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I see it more as a support ship. Being small base without the half points, and we've talked about this before. FFG, just make all ships half points, or like, or I mean, it's just we're seeing the HP creep for sure. But anyway, that's a side conversation. Last thing, I guess, now that they've spoiled the saturation salvo, I think that's what it's called.
Yep.
EPT. I see it as directly trying to affect Biggs. Because how many times have we shot at Biggs in general, or at least I have, not hit him, even with your munitions, when you're, especially now, combining Lorik, where you're giving just ridiculous mods to him to not be hit.
Yep.
And this is saying, all right, even if you don't get hit, man, you're going to have to roll damage, and everyone else in your little tight formation too. So it's a little late to the party, though, because we have harpoons coming as well.
Exactly. Next week.
Exactly. And I just, like you were just talking to the previous caller, that you look at other 1-point EPTs and say, okay, how is this more valuable than something else? And I look at Deadeye specifically, especially on low PS pilots. I don't know why you'd ever take this over Deadeye on a low PS pilot.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah. So, I don't know, and especially then with one of the unique, I can't remember which unique pilot it is, but that you can still fire if you have a target lock on somebody. Maybe I'm thinking of the title.
That's the title. That says
title.
You can fire after slamming if you have the title.
Right. So even then, why in the world wouldn't you take Deadeye? Because then you can treat that target lock text as focus. So all you need to do is focus after advanced slamming, and then you can still fire.
That's it. Let me look at the word. So that, I think that's something that might have to be FAQ'd, because I can argue it both ways. I feel like, well, it does specifically have the words, like, it's not like you have to have the lock for the torpedo. It just says, like, if you have a target lock on that guy, you can.
Oh, that's interesting.
You can use this effect. I don't know if Deadeye will let you move that, because Deadeye, I think, just says treat attack target lock as attack focus.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
So
yeah, it's not treat.
We almost broke it, Paul. We almost did it.
So close. That's all right.
The one thing that this title does do is it does give an argument for long range scanners, because if you have somebody locked and you do. You come in fast and slam, come around a corner, come around an asteroid, and you have them target lock from the first turn, you have that taken care of.
Yeah, and I really like long range scanner, to be honest. That's another thing I've been playing around with the PS2 bombers. And again, you were talking about this with the previous caller. I totally psych out opponents. Like, I'll lock onto a target I'm not actually planning on targeting first, so that they will fly away knowing that I'm going to come in and grab a target lock on somebody else, and knowing where they're hopefully going to be, especially now with munitions that you don't have to spend the lock.
Yeah.
So you still get that reroll. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how much this is going to shake up, but I see it as a really good support ship role. Yeah, and I guess last thing I want to talk about was the jam beam.
Yeah, let me pull that up right here. Go for it.
So I had to look up what jamming actually does. So if you're jamming token to get rid of that jam condition, if I'm understanding that correctly, which, okay, great. You're potentially stopping somebody else from firing munition if they have a target lock or a focus. But the range 1 to 2 restriction just makes this really hard to take over tractor beam, especially on like a tie D.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's cool, I guess, but I don't. Again, it's one of those things, like, I don't know how meta defining it's going to be.
I think it's probably one of those cards where it might cycle in and out when it's needed. So for instance, if we were still in a really strong Atani meta, we'd see jamming beam everywhere, right? You're just ripping focus and evade tokens off of people. But we're not there right now. So
Yeah.
When token stacking comes back, whenever that might be, this will
Yeah.
definitely be a good weapon. They had to make it 1 point though, because if it was 2
Oh, for
points,
sure.
never mind. Never gonna look at it.
Yep.
Not gonna think
Yep.
twice.
I totally agree. I don't see it being used outside of a TIE Defender TIE title, just because you're wasting an attack then if you're using this, and especially with such a high hit point meta right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, maybe, but I don't see it used outside of a TIE where you're getting that second attack. But I don't know, man. Those are my initial thoughts. I'm excited to get it to the table either way. I'll probably end up buying 2 of them.
Yeah.
Just because I like the 2 ship support idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Paul.
Yeah, Dion, keep doing the great work you do, man. You're awesome.
Thank you, dude.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Yeah. This ship is gonna be fun. You know where I really think I know I'm not necessarily following my script here, we're just kind of having a good time, but I really think that the Gunboat is going to be really good in Epic. Like you have all these missiles out there and you just going. It's going to be awesome. Cosmic Jello raised a great point, and I was thinking about that while Paul was talking. Targeting Synchronizer, okay? Targeting Synchronizer has probably some pretty good use with some of these. So let me see if I can quickly bring that up, or at least be able to read the text to you guys. Let's get some Targeting Synchronizer. Anything with a text slot, please. See, during the podcasts, like regular podcasts, I do this and you guys just don't know. Edit out. All right. So Targeting Synchronizer says, when a friendly ship at range 1 to 2 is attacking a ship you have locked, the friendly ship treats attack target lock as just attack. Now, this last part is where things are going to be a really big question mark. It says, if a game effect instructs that ship to it just says spend a target lock. It may spend the target lock instead. I don't think that works either, actually. I was saying it different in my mind. I take it back. I don't know, Cosmic Jello. I don't know if it works, man. Maybe. Yeah. I got excited. We're like, we're gonna break it. We figured it out. So again, give me a call. Lines are open. Skype or regular phone, whatever you want to talk about when it comes to the Gunboat, or anything else. If you got a question or something, let's just keep going through some of this information as we wait for people. Let's take a look at this dial. Okay, so in the article itself, they took some time and compared the Gunboat to the K-Wing because they both have slam. And the biggest difference you see here is the fact that the Gunboat has a 3 hard, okay? So it's going to do a better job of getting around asteroids. It's going to be able to have some more space to move. It does still have pretty limited greens. They take the, instead of having green 1 banks, I believe that the K-Wing has, it has green 2 banks. So it has to go a little bit faster to clear stress. Also, another thought here is with the slam and the 3 hard, your K turn off of a slam, so you do a hard turn again, is a lot wider. So that can change your trajectory a lot, give you different options as opposed to the K-Wing that just has too hard. Now, one thing, as I was chatting back and forth with my my different X-Wing friends, and we wondered if this dial is good enough for this ship, and this is the reason why. The K-Wing has a very limited dial, but it has a turret, right? You can shoot 360 degrees, and do. Sorry about that. That's actually my mother calling me. Should I pick it up? That'd probably be awkward to do on a show. I won't do that right now. I'm gonna shoot her a text. Actually, hold on. Devin, can you call my mom and tell her I'm doing a show and using my phone for the show? Alrighty. If she wants to talk X-Wing, she doesn't. She appreciates that I like X-Wing, but she doesn't know anything about X-Wing. Actually, I guess I'll just tell the story, right? My parents are interesting. I've tried to teach them. I've taught them different board games before, but I can never. It is a bad idea to teach them together anything that's competitive, because they will fight. So I got three separate instances. One was Risk, one was Monopoly, and one was X-Wing, where it really was my dad's best option was to take out my mom. Like, he was in that position, so he wants to win the game. He goes and tries for it, and and there's the, what the heck, man? Why do you keep attacking me? It was living in the moment. It was hilarious, but yeah. So yeah. No, she doesn't know. No, doesn't know that. Blah. She does not know anything about X-Wing. Let's keep looking at this dial. So we have the red 4 forward. Can't slam off of it, obviously, because it is red. You have an option here for a get out of jail free card ish. I mean, it's a 4 forward, 1 base length, obviously longer than the 3 forward. I doubt we're going to see it unless... I mean, it gives you an option to possibly jump range. And it gives you a 5-dice cruise missile. If you want it. If you need it. So maybe you got long range scanners, somehow got a focus token from another ship, and you get that 4 forward. There is your cruise missile. And I understand why they didn't make it white, because slamming 4s. Yeah, I think it's a fair dial, but I think that's gonna hurt it a little bit. Is that it's fair? I think in order to be really competitive in our current meta, like some things have to be really, really good, especially things with arcs. Like this ship, you have to use your arc in order to shoot anything. You know, there's no turret options whatsoever. You can't drop bombs. There's no AoE damage besides possibly, you know, doing a harpoon missile or saturation salvo. Is that what it's called? Yeah, saturation salvo. Yeah, we're gonna have to. It's gonna take some really good flying to get the, get the most out of these guys. Let's do a, let's do. Oh, okay, here we go. I think this is probably what we're gonna talk about next. Let's talk about Advanced Slam. So, the Reddit FAQ. Was true. At least this part was, right? So for those of you who don't remember, the very last condition of Advanced Slam, where it says on your action bar, was not there before. Okay. Now, so that means that once this comes out / when the errata happens, you can no longer, with a K-Wing, slam and drop bombs. That's over. It's done. But you can... Well, I guess technically it's not done. You can... Sorry. No, it's on your action bar. So yeah, if it's on your action bar only, the other thing you can't do... Some people were saying, oh, you can still do it with experimental interface, but you can't, because experimental interface is a card action. Not on your action bar. So you can't do it there either. It doesn't work with experimental interface. Does it? No? Because it doesn't say it adds an action to your... Oh, wait a second. Experimental interface says that you can do... Dang it. I gotta read that. I don't play with that card. Ever. Experimental interface is... what is is that? There it is. Once per round, after you perform an action, you may perform one free action. Ah, okay. So, got it. You would do the slam. You would do your action off your action bar. Experimental interface. There it goes. Got it. Sorry, took me a second. Again, I have never played with that card. Or you do your. Guess you wouldn't have advanced slam. But anyway, advanced slam. Yeah, I mean, outside of, it's not going to be used the same. It's not going to be used the same. Yeah, you can't advanced slam and experimental interface because they're both modifications. I got excited there. So why even experimental interface then? Because you would slam. Slam is the first action, then experimental base. Okay, there you go. That's it. Sorry, I was thinking advanced slam in my head. I don't like the stress. I think we'll see it for sure. I guess the not bad part is that if we don't get the half points rule on small bases, that's just another point on Miranda, right? If you're gonna go that route. Yeah. Sorry for the confusion. I am really tired. We did a 3-hour concert right before this, so it took me a minute to work through that. But yeah, so, and yeah, I would not want to be stressed with that dial. Triple K, I see Diamond King just asked, Triple K wing is dead though for sure. Possibly. Yeah. Anthony Papachio? Anthony Papachio. That is exactly what this is. Jonathan Lee hooked me up. Thank you, sir. For anybody just joining us, give us... Wait, this way? Yeah, there you go, mirror. Give us a call. Let's talk about the Gunboat. Give us your thoughts. Don't just do it in the chat. I mean, I can read your words, but let the world hear you. Let's talk about the Gunboat. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. But yeah, Advanced Slam has been changed. We will see how that affects the meta. I mean, it's not bad to be able to slam, get an action. I think what will happen is we will start to see Advanced Slam more on the Gunboat than we will on K-Wings. Because with the ability to shoot with a weapons disable token, let's say you had long range scanners, you had the missile title, you would get a target lock 1 turn, you could move, slam, get a focus, and now shoot. So yeah, that could possibly be really, really awesome. But that would be it. That would be the only reason. Sir Duber. I mean, what I said would probably be the only way you would want to use it. All right, let me take a look at that title again. And all this stuff is new, so I'm still, processing a lot of it. So yeah, if you had long range scanners, you could slam into a missile. Long range scanners, target lock, 1 turn, turn 2, or subsequent turn. Slam into position for a missile, advanced slam, have a focus. Is that better than guidance chips? Probably not. But yeah, that would kind of be the only way. Anyway. Now here, people in the chat, let's do a 1 or a 2, okay? Let's take a look at both of our titles. I guess we didn't read the second one. The XG1 assault configuration. It says your upgrade. Wow, I am tired. The upgrade bar gains 2 cannon icons, and you may perform attacks with cannon secondary weapons that cost 2 or fewer squad points, even while you have a weapons disabled token. So here's my problem with this one. So your options are tractor beam, jamming beam now, and flechette cannon. I think it's just those three. I know a lot of people were like, why not give us that additional point so that we can get ion cannon? I think that'd be too good. I think it'd be way too good. Have you ever had your ship ionized off the board? It feels really bad. Is it any worse than getting it bombed off the board? Probably not, but maybe they're learning from their mistakes. They're trying to give people more places to play. Yeah. So that's why I think that's why they capped it at 2, mostly because of ion cannon. That would be an interesting question to ask the devs. One thing that will be interesting, I think, over time is tractor beam has a place. You would not want to put multiple tractor beams in your list with this, not in standard at least, because you're not doing any damage. You know, the follow-up ship may do damage, but I guess I would argue that probably jamming beam is going to be the best one, with this being able to assign that jam token, and then I believe what that does is later on when they would get a focus evade or a target lock, it strips that at that moment. So that is that's that. Flechette cannon, maybe that's maybe the gunboat will create the flechette cannon, the meta, huh? Maybe. So now here's my question. So I think my opinion was pretty solid. Oops, sorry. Was pretty obvious there. I think the OS1 is gonna be here. Maybe I'll move to the middle. I think the OS1, the one on this side, is gonna be the better one. If you think you could put XG in the chat if you think the XG one is going to be better. Put OS1 if you think the OS1 is going to be better. So XG or OS, put it in the chat. What do you think is going to be the better title or the most popular title to be used in competitive play? Give us your opinions there. Alrighty. So as we wait for the first vote is in, OS 111111111. Thank you, Cravens. Getting more OS ones pouring in here. So does targeting synchronizer work with OS 1 title? I don't think so, because it specifically talks about the OS1. Oh, I hate this thing. OS1 doesn't tell you anything about spending a target lock, which is where you would use it, and it also doesn't have anything to do with changing the missile from attack target lock to attack. Like that, this card doesn't reference that at all. I don't think it works. So yeah, I think the OS1 title is going to be the way to go. And yes, for those of you watching on YouTube, there's a Twitch chat, and for those of you watching on Twitch, there is a YouTube chat, so you might not hear or see who I'm referencing. We're streaming to both now because some people prefer one or another, or it doesn't work on one phone, X, Y, and Z. And yeah, OS1 doesn't work with Deadeye either. People will try, but it's the wording, right? These titles have nothing to do with. I'm just gonna slide over here. The titles have, or the OS1 title is just about if you have to have a lock. It doesn't say anything about the conditions for the weapon, which is what Deadeye and targeting synchronizer do. It's just have a lock, use it, and there's an argument there for using long range scanners with OS1 in order to have that lock before you enter combat. Is it better than guidance chips? I don't know. We're gonna have to do some testing for sure. Yep. So let's take a look at some pilots. Oh, advanced slam. I forgot to hide you. All right. So we'll start on the bottom. We have the new squadron pilot starting in at 18 points. 18 points. Nice and cheap ship. Of course, I mean, you are not going to run one of these at 18 points naked. You're not going to do it. 2 attack dice is not enough. In this meta, you need to hit really hard. And but what it does do, because it starts very low. It starts very low for 7 hit points. That's huge for 7 hit points. You can build this out to 23, 24, 25 and have a piece of a list. Yeah, so we'll see how this gets used. I think competitively, this one has the most potential because it allows you to do more things with the other parts of your list. This can possibly fill a role. So then the PS4 is 21 points, so that is a 3-point jump for 2 PS. But you get the EPT slot, where this is where if you wanted to run something like Deadeye could come in. Now I'm just kind of, again, I read this at work when I was on my lunch break, and we're basically talking about it now. I think that I don't know if Deadeye is going to be the best on these guys. I'm really, the more I'm thinking about it, long range scanners sounds really good on the Gunboat in general with the OS1 title. So I don't know if we're going to see Deadeye. I'm probably going crack shot to make sure that my missile hits hard. I think I'm going crack shot. Or you know what? Would you do that? Because you have the slam and you can get some interesting positioning, maybe you take trick shot instead and hit harder with your missiles. Oh, okay. We had somebody try to call in, and I guess it didn't go through. Let me call him back. Let me call him back. I want to call Samuel back. Why does technology not work all the time? I don't want to say his phone number out loud. Let me call this man back. Sorry guys, technology. Oh, there it goes. Wait, that's not right. Dang it. Aha. There it is. Okay. So we're going to call Samuel back and see what he wants to chat about. See if he picks up. Oh, he got radio shy. Or he's mad. He's like, oh, he didn't pick up the phone. Forget it. Yeah, Samuel, sorry about that. Give me a call back, buddy. All right. We'll keep going. Again, lines are open, so feel free to give us a call. Talk about your stuff. So, 21 points EPT. I'm thinking crack shot. I'm thinking 5 dice harpoon missiles. Maybe that'll be good. Then we have the PS5 Lieutenant Karsabi. Is that right? I'll make that a little bit bigger because I have old man eyes and I cannot see anything here. Oops, I moved myself. Stay there, self. Yeah, Karsabi. So, ability reads, when you receive a weapons disabled token, if you are not stressed, you may receive 1 stress token to remove it. So, I think the obvious-ish combo with this is, again, OS1. Let's say you have the OS1 title. Excuse me. Let me rewind. What this lets you do, it lets you do what the OS1 title lets you do, which is fire a missile after slamming. Okay, lets you fire a missile after slamming with taking a stress. But the problem I had with this pilot right away is the dial is not good with dealing with stress. Okay, we'll pull that up here again. I mean, let me pull it to the side here. There you go. I mean, I don't want this guy to be stressed at all. 2 bank, 2 forward can be blocked pretty easily. But what you could do is Deadeye could work on this pilot for sure. Slam, Deadeye, that could work. Then you don't even have to take the title if you don't want to. But would you still? Title's optional on this guy. I don't love it. That's stress. Stress without a good dial can be bad news, especially people have gotten really good at blocking. So, not sure. I'm just reading somebody's text here. Oh, Gunboat hype. And then lastly, we have the PS7. Just take that dial out here. PS7, it says, this is major vendor. We could see his text on the original preview, and it says, when defending, if you have a weapons disabled token, roll 1 additional defense dice. So, being able to have a PS7 who can slam around, be more defensive, kind of basically get a lightweight frame effect ish, right? Just plus 1 AGI, but this is going to trigger all the time. So effectively having a 2-3-4-3 2-3-4-3 stat line, and this guy screams, I want to flank you, right? Because he wants to be able to do the slam maneuvers. It does have some slower moves on the dial, so it can do a 1 and then a 1, 1 bank, 1, and try not to move too fast in order to keep things in its arc. I think the move we'll see with this guy a lot is, he'll come in, get his missiles off, and, something like a 2 bank, 2 hard, and just trying to keep things in arc. Because the problem with having to slam is even a 1 forward, right? So you got your base, you have the 1 plus the base again, and then you slam again. Like that's 5 ship bases total that you just moved off of a 1-1 slam. So how do you stop this guy? Well, you keep, like, at least his ability, you keep him close into combat. You don't give him the lanes to be slamming around, slamming, jamming. And also it's going to depend on how many points you put into him. I think if you keep him relatively cheaper, try to keep him below 32 points. I have, just a quick mental build here. OS1 title. So that gives him the 27. Add a harpoon missile that gives him the 31. Plus what? Plus long range scanners. Maybe plus advanced slam. This is an argument for advanced slam on him, because if you can slam, I would take VI on this guy. Get him to 9. Okay, so here we go. So PS9, that's 1 point for VI, 4 points for our harpoon missile, 1 point for the title, and then plus, what did I just say? Not long range scanners. We can take advanced slam. That way you can slam, get the target lock, so that you can meet the condition of the OS1 title and be able to get the missiles off. That could be cool. But then we always going back to Nim. Nim is PS10 and can say, no, you can't shoot me because you have an arc. Yeah. So those are our pilots. Let's take a look at some of the other cards here. We talked a little bit about the XG1 assault configuration. We had, you get 2 cannons and you get to perform 2 point or lower cannon shots if you have a weapon disabled. I don't think it's going to be great. What will change that possibly in the future is it depends on what other cannons we get. If we get other 1 and 2 point cannons that maybe start doing damage plus control effects, or even if they did light damage instead of any control at all, I think this automatically becomes more viable. So just something to chew on there. Another card that's linked specifically, basically you're going to run this if you're going to do it on a gunboat, you have to use the XG1 title, and it's linked batteries. It is a cannon slot, 2 points, and it says when attacking with a primary weapon or a cannon secondary weapon, you may reroll 1 attack die. So you get a predator effect for 2 points if you have an open cannon slot. These ships, probably one thing I'm seeing a lot of, and I did think of it right away as well, was brobots. All right, there's a spot there that you can possibly fill, because you don't. How often do you use the second cannon in competitive play? You usually don't. The problem is paying 2 points for it. I don't know if it's worth it. But at the same time, on a B-wing, that has maybe some viability. Oh, there it is. Just popped up in the chat. Yeah, B-wings. Yeah, there's some possibility there. You get a soft predator effect. The problem is that there's still B-wings. I wish they would, I think automatically if they would just change the dial on the B-wing, it would be significantly better. It can't K-turn over a large base. That's just sad. It's like, we don't have the momentum, sir. We can't get there. But yeah, so it has an option for B-wings. I think the cards in this pack, I don't know what in this pack is going to come out and be meta defining, and just my initial feel is that I don't think anything in here is going to break the meta. I really don't. Jamming beam seems decent. It's cheap. It's 1 point. You can't go wrong with one. Oh, I mean, you can go wrong with 1 point. But then the problem is that it's only range 1 to 2. So that could be cool. Linked batteries, of course, can be used on non-gunboat ships. But the gunboat itself, are we going to see it, top tables at Worlds? Maybe. It depends on how you kit them out, and we'll see how good they are, because they have to stay in arc. No turrets. No out of arc shots at all. It's just this. The most other damage you can do is with something with kind of splash damage. So we'll see. I'm not convinced though. I'll be honest. I think it really needed to have something a little bit more aggressive in order to really make a splash. Now, here is a question, right? Let's say we look at all these ships are coming up, right? We have this one, the Gunboat. We have the Phantom 2. We have the Kimogila, the Rebel Resistance Bomber, and the Silencer. If power curve wise they are lower than where we are now, and we get a fact that really changes things, does it show that maybe FFG has started to realize, oh hey, we really power creeped into some issues, we need to settle things down? I don't know. But it is a question I'm asking, because this ship, wow, I'm tired. This ship seems too fair. You have to shoot things in its arc. In order to get to PS9, you have to use VI and use the EPT slot off of your highest pilot, so you don't have anything like you can't put expertise on it or anything. So it'll be interesting. Another thought is looking at the options of the PS7. Let's hide linked batteries here. Of being a points fortress. Let's assume that FFG says no, we're not going to do small base half points. How many points can we get major vendor up to, just for funsies here? Let's see. Let's pull up the squad builder. Thank you, yet another squad builder, for already having the assault gunboat ready to go in my squad builder here. So, because one strategy with Miranda, right, is just to have her just be stupid expensive and make sure you survive. So let's say we take one of the titles. We're gonna take the good one, the Arsenal loadout with the missiles. What else can we do here? Let's take some missiles. Let's take some harpoon missiles. We're gonna be at PS7, huh? So we should probably take long range scanners. And then we get to this spot, right, where you have 2 open torpedo slots and an extra missile slot. You have reload. You don't need extra munitions. So if you want to make this guy a point fortress, you just need to start taking different types of ordnance, right? You can take, ion torpedoes, sure. Advanced proton torpedoes, sure. So you could get it up to around 52 points by trying really hard and putting things that don't make sense on it. So I think the prognosis there is that you don't want to try to use this as a point fortress. Yeah, so very interesting. It's 58's the max. There you go. I didn't max it out, actually. I was like, oh, let me try not to be dumb, and then didn't click them all. So 58 points. Don't do that. That just sounds bad. Sounds really bad. Because I put a 0-point upgrade there. There you go. 58 points is the max. Yeah. Not going to be a good point fortress. Stay in the 30s. Probably 31. Yep, there you go. Engine upgrade. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see Major Vendor kitted out that well, because the other issue, right, at least comparing to Miranda can regen. No regen here. Empire doesn't get regen. So while they compared the dials between these two ships, I think to match the power level of the game, again, I think the dial on this ship should have been better. I think, would it have broken it to have a K-turn? Probably. Probably. But I think it would have been really interesting and given these ships a chance versus things that have turrets. Now, again, if FFG is planning on doing something to turrets, bringing the power level down, then sure, things get better. And I'm of the opinion, just like most people, that the more things we have that are using arcs, the better. Oh, Dion, I see somebody yelling, Dion, small ship only. All right, so no IGs. Never mind. It's getting late here. So, thank you to my 2 callers who called in, the brave souls. Anybody else who wants to call in, great. We're gonna wrap up our show. We've looked at all the cards here. If there's any comments you want to put in the chat, that's great. The last thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to listen to some listener voicemails. We do have some of those. Samuel did leave us a voicemail. Actually, I'm not going to play that because he said his phone number in that one. We have a couple other ones that we have just waiting on the line, so let's take a listen.
Hey Dion, Sandy Stockwell here. As you know, I really like flying bad ships, but I want to actually win a game sometime. If I want to fly the U-Wing, do you know of any lists that can fly U-Wing? Thanks. Later.
Oh, that's my friend Andy Stockwell. He's one of our Gold Squadron pilots. The U-Wing. All right, you know what? Twitch chat / YouTube chat. Help me build a good U-Wing. The problem is that I don't know that there is a good U-Wing build for what it does. It being a it being a large base ship that can give up half points pretty easily. I think the best. Oh man, bring a 100-point bid. I think the best list that I've seen with a U-Wing, and it be effective, was a dash. Now the dash did most of the work with 2 naked Blue Squadron novices, just taking up space and blocking, similar to a Jumpmaster. Obviously, they don't have the barrel roll and all that stuff, but a decent enough dial to be able to just take up space and, when able, take advantage of those forward arcs. I think I've said this before, and others. I really think it would have been so cool if the U-Wing would have had side arcs. Will they ever change that? I don't know. I know that they're movie ships and they didn't know anything, and they're just like, hey, this is what it looks like. Figure it out. But yeah. So Andy, bumping U-Wings is probably the only way to go. With Intel Agent, if you can fit Intel Agent on there, and a 50-point dash. Actually, let's see. Are U-Wings 25 points? Is that the cheapest? Let's take a look. I obviously have flown so much U-Wing. 23 points. 23 points. Okay, so yeah. 2 Blue Squadron novices. And that leaves you with 54 points of dash. Or you can go you can do, what is it, the 48-point Lone Wolf dash and add some, Intel Agent into the... Intel Agent doesn't matter super much unless you're Intel Aging a higher PS ships for dash. That could help-ish. So, Andy, those are the best... That's the best U-Wing I can come up with. Anybody else? Let's see. Somebody here put a link to a squad builder. All right, Andy. So this is from. Let me see the person who texted this to me. So the person is Sir George. He linked me and he said to credit Wally Shanks on Vassal for beating him with it. It looks like this list is a Nora Wexley with R2 Astromech, Rage, Finn Crew, Title, and Experimental Interface. So we have the R2 Astromech there being able to help Nora relieve the stress on 2 turns if need be using Experimental Interface. And at, what is that there? Cassian Andor. Okay. At the start of the activation phase, you may remove 1 stress token from another friendly ship at range 1 to 2. So that's how you get the second stress token off using Cassian. Cassian here has adaptability, so most likely going up to 7 to match Nora. Fire control system, inspiring recruit, even more stress relief, and gunner. So being able to trigger gunner in order to use that fire control system, get some rerolls. Cassian might actually do some damage. That seems promising. And of course, it's a rebel list with 2 ships that aren't like Dash or Miranda. So that means we have Biggs. Plus Biggs, R4D6 naturally. This actually seems pretty cool. I will make sure to send this to Andy. Thank you. And I'm sure he will have some fun with that. I see we have one more suggestion here. Heftober. Man, what does Heftober do? Hef. So much U-Wing. I feel like the U-Wing is a ship that we all want to be good. Like it, cause man, the model is sick. It's beautiful. Heftober. His ability is: after an enemy ship executes a maneuver that causes it to overlap your ship, you may perform a free action. So we're probably gonna do some jank where we just like get a bajillion actions. FCS, Zeb Aurelios, Intel Agent, Pivot Wing, Anti-Pursuit Lasers. Get him in the way. Shoot him with Zeb. Cool. I get it. But the problem is that they can shoot you back. if their arc is facing you. And you're just a U-Wing. So you die fast. Let's see. We have one more. Voicemail here.
Hi, Dion. This is Devin Monkhouse, Marshal of Canadian Nationals. I had the pleasure of meeting some of your fellow Gold Squadron members just a few weeks ago at Canadian Nationals. And I just wanted to know how American you were on a scale of 1 to didn't know you need to have a passport to go to another country. Thanks. I hope you guys enjoy the care package we sent to Nate. Bye.
Wow. I think he just insulted me. That's fine. So I explained this on one of the previous casts. So I didn't go to Canadian Nationals because I didn't have a passport. But before recently, apparently when I was planning my travel, I looked at an outdated website that said that you didn't need a passport because Canada and the US were cool. And apparently here is a kicker. Okay. One thing that is still true is, as an American citizen, I can get into Canada without a passport. The problem is that I can't get back home without a passport. So that's why I screwed that up and said no Canadian Nationals for me. But the application is going to be in the mail here pretty soon so that I can go to Canadian Nationals afterwards, coming up here whenever they announced it for, and try again. We'll try Canada again. Well, yeah, so we have lots of Gunboat to look forward to. I mean, I hope you're pumped. One thing, I don't know if you guys have watched the Scum and Villainy, listened to the Scum and Villainy interview with the developers. They did say that the wings on the Gunboat do not move, but I did receive, I got it from Shapeways. I don't know how long it'll be available because I don't think that they usually will keep ships that are like FFG made, but I'm sure people will mod this up. But they did 3D print me a Gunboat that has articulating wings. I'll show you. Here it is. It's not painted or anything, but the wings fold up just like that. But so my plan here is to get it painted up by one of my painting friends, and it will be looking awesome on the table. And I have a proxy ship to practice my gunboating, so that is fun. So if you want one that moves and you don't know how to mod ships yourself, or don't want to you know, don't want to risk breaking your models, this was one that it came in separate pieces. The bottom of the ship actually comes off, and the wings just kind of stack, like they nest in each other, and the bottom clips on, and you're ready to go. So thank you everybody who joined us today. It is getting a little late. I was planning on maybe doing a Vassal game, but it's really late, and I know that I have not eaten dinner tonight because I did the concert and then came and did this. So thank you very much for your support. Like always, just want to mention a huge thank you to my patrons who support the show. Right now I am in the process, everything looks really nice and neat here because the camera angle is just perfect. To the right of me is a mess, to the left of me is a mess, and the mess right now is all the piles of alt art cards getting ready to ship. I have a tower of boxes over here, and a huge box of templates. I'll just kind of show off some of the swag that we're giving away here. We have our current 3-card set is, put that down over there, is a Nim, Quick Draw, and Lorik set. And the Nim is double-sided, so you can see that there. I mean, beautiful, just awesome art. You have Nim, this is the Rebel Nim, fighting some stormtroopers. He's trying to escape, and he's in his Scourge on the ramp. And here is Scum Nim trying to steal his Scourge. Every single one of my cards, I don't know if you guys have heard this, they all have stories, and I'm maybe planning on publishing just like quick little notes on why I chose each of the arts. But thank you to Bartok for bringing that vision to life. Here's Quick Draw, just looking badass, and barking orders saying, hey, get ready, we're getting attacked by the Resistance. So that's what you get, some sparks here, and she just get it done. And then Lorik, Gladiator Lorik. Now here's one thing, Ron and I were talking, and Lorik is one of the least flavorful pilots in the game of X-Wing. So first, he comes from the RPG, if you don't know that, and his story is that he is a gladiator. He is not defensive at all. He is extremely offensive. So what probably would have been better was that Lorik had Wolf Waro's ability, which is more offensive. It made more sense, right? Like, I'm hurt, I'm a gladiator, but I'm going to give my last roar and hit you harder. And, vice versa, the names maybe just get swapped or something like that. But lo and behold, Lorik has this ability, so we said, hey, he going to protect you. He's going to do a good job, okay? So this just has, this has the flavor mark of approval. This is not canon, but it's pretty damn close to what would actually happen in the Star Wars universe. That is canon. So thank you to patrons. Those are going to be shipping out here really, really soon. We have our new set of templates. They're too far away for me to reach. Maybe I'll just grab them. Hold on. So far away. Here we go. So we got a custom design for these templates right now. This is our $4 patrons who are getting these. It's all wrapped up. Okay, here we go. So I'll grab one of the longer ones. So if you get our templates, you'll see they have a little bit of, they have some masking around the title. Would you take a little fingernail to it real quick? And that masking comes right off. Oh yes, beautiful. Take a look at that. Boom. Those are our custom design for templates. Okay. Thank you to Curled Paw Design for helping me design them and using my concept. And creating this custom design, only available to Gold Squadron podcast patrons. And if you want to help support the show, we'd appreciate it. And if you don't want to, that's okay too. Everything goes back into the cast. I'm super pumped for regionals. I'm going to be contacting a few regionals, and the plan is to travel to the different regionals and bring you coverage, record games, stream, and same thing with the system opens that are coming up here. So we're saving every dollar, and we're ready to be on the ground at these X-Wing events and get you coverage, especially now that we know Guns for Hire is coming out. We'll have to see how that shakes up the meta. We don't know when this Wave 12 is going to be out, but it's going to be really exciting when we see some gunboats on the table. And then Wave 13 with The Last Jedi, which can't be that far behind because the movie's coming out in December, so we should see that fairly soon. I'm super excited to see what the future brings. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Let me just take a look at the chat. Too many of the plans are sold out. Yes, I will be. So the way I do, I guess, I'll say, the way I do with the templates is I open up the top level little by little, because if I just left it open and I had 300 people, over exaggerate, 300 people join the top level, all right, where are my templates? It's just not. Oh, did they? Oh, interesting. So in the Twitch chat, I actually didn't catch that part of the article. It looks like the Wave 12 and 13 are being combined into one wave. That is awesome. That is pumped for that. So they're calling it Wave 13 just because. Wow, so we're going to get 5 ships released at once. So it's sure 12, and we'll call it Wave 12 and 13, but it's Wave 12. That's going to be exciting. That's going to be really exciting to see how all that culminates together. But anyway, back to the previous question. Yes, I will be opening more slots for the templates after I've fulfilled these orders. That way I don't overwhelm the budget, because I have to pay for all of its stuff. So that's why I go little by little. Yes, it's going to be a super wave. I'm pumped. Now we're going to have a lot of content rolling in here. We'll see how it shakes out. So I took a look at the Twitch chat. Let's take a look at the YouTube chat. Where are you, YouTube chat? There you are. Fairly quiet. Alrighty. Well, plan is to go eat some dinner. I'm super tired. Thank you for joining us. And I might have some time this weekend to stream some Vassal games. We'll see. And here's another thing. If you ever want to play a game of Vassal, you can always hit me up. Maybe we can stream it. We just figure it out. I'm always up to hang out with people. I love making content. And there's more things like this, like town halls and intergalactic theater, that I'm planning. And I just want to thank everybody for supporting us and welcoming us into your gaming lives. So my name is Dion Morales. I'm super tired, and I'm going to go eat something because I haven't eaten in 12 hours. It's a good idea. I should probably go eat. All right. This is Dion. Gold Squadron, out. I hit the wrong button. Let's try that again.